Because there's not an upstairs in the house. Let's go. I'm on it. I'm on it today. I'm on it now. I'm warmed up from the last
said
one.
She'd been upstairs, but her grandparents' house
Bang!
was a one-story cottage.
Bang!
Liar,
Let's
liar,
go.
hands on.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm recording this right after the last reaction video, by the way, if you couldn't tell by the clothes. But anyways, we are reacting to the hardest 14 riddles only top 3% can figure out. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. This is by Brightside. Once again, link to the original down below in the description. Let's get straight into it.
So Mia wanted to go to the party her classmate was throwing, but her father didn't let her. Mia thought for a while and remembered her grandparents had just moved to their new one-story country house. She asked her dad if she could visit them at the weekend, and the man agreed. But Mia went to the party instead. When she got back home after the weekend, her father asked her if she had had a good time. Mia replied she helped in the garden a little and spent the rest of the day upstairs. Her father immediately knew she was lying. How?
Because there's not an upstairs in the house. Let's go. I'm on it. I'm on it today. I'm on it now. I'm warmed up from the
Mia
last
said
one.
she'd been upstairs, but her grandparents' house
Bang!
was a one-story cottage.
Bang!
Liar,
Let's
liar,
go.
hands on fire.
Let's go. I'm
11
going
plus
insane
3
this one.
equals 2. 10
Okay.
plus 5 equals 3. Now, how is that possible?
11 plus 3. I mean, one of the numbers have to be negative. 11's negative.
It makes sense when we talk about time.
Or 3's negative.
11 o'clock plus 3 hours is 2 o'clock. 10 o'clock plus 5 hours
Yeah,
is
but
3 o'clock.
you can think about that two different ways, though. Because
One
if you
king
put
wants
negative
to find
11
out which of
plus...
his 3 sons
Actually,
is
no.
the smartest.
Yeah.
He takes 3 chests
know.
and puts
I'm
his
not good at
crown
math.
in one of them. On each chest, there's a statement, but only one of these statements is true. The crown is in this chest. The crown isn't in this chest. The crown isn't in chest number 1. Each person can only open one chest. The son who figures out where the crown is will be the next king. But can you solve this riddle?
The crown isn't in the chest. The crown isn't in chest 1. The crown is in this chest. The crown is in chest 3.
If the first statement is true, the other two must be false. It's not so because the second statement turns out to be correct. So this assumption's wrong. If the second statement is true, the crown isn't in the first chest. It's not in the second chest either. Then it must be in the third one. But this makes the third statement correct, although it shouldn't be. If the third statement is true, the first one's wrong and there's no crown in the first chest. The second statement's also wrong. Now, there are no contradictions. The crown's in the second chest.
What?
Here's a sequence
How would
of letters.
anybody
Which
figure
letter
that out?
should you add?
A, B, C, D, E? It's not going to be E, though.
The missing
F.
letter is F. If you put it at the end, you'll get E.
Dude.
James and Taylor
I said
were
E
best friends in
regardless.
elementary school.
No, that's a dumb one. I got that
Unfortunately,
right.
when the children were 10, James and his parents moved to another state. The friends lost contact. 15 years later, James and Taylor accidentally bumped into each other in a cafe. It was their first meeting since school. They recognized each other and started talking. It turned out Taylor was already married and had a daughter. "Wow," said James. "Does she look like her dad?" "Oh no," Taylor said. "The girl's a mini version of her mother." "Ah, so she must be a blonde with blue eyes." This time, James was right. How did he understand that?
This one is all over the place. I'm just going to guess because one of them had blonde and blue eyes.
Taylor's a girl. She's the mother, and James only needed to describe her. You're outside a room with 3 switches in the off position. Your task is to find out which one turns on the light in the room.
Okay.
You can flip as many switches as you want, but you can walk into the room and check if the light's on only once. How can you understand which switch controls the light bulb?
Look at the wires.
Turn on 2 random switches and wait for a couple of minutes. Then, turn one of them off and walk into the room. If the light's on, The switch connected to the bulb is the one you left in the on position.
That one was
If the room's
tricky.
dark, touch the light bulb. If it's hot,
I knew it was
then the
connected to the
controlling
third
switch is the
one.
one you just turned off. If the light bulb is cold, the correct switch is the only one you haven't touched. Esme got lost in the forest.
That's
She
strange.
was wandering around for the whole day. Finally, at dusk, she saw a spooky
It's the
house.
witch again.
A witch lived there.
We've already
The girl
done
had
this.
nowhere else to go, so she entered the house and asked for help. The witch said if Esme solved her riddle, she'd be free to leave in the morning.
If it's the apple, I
Here's how
got
the riddle
this.
went. 17J, 70M, 96A, 162J, 256S, 354. What's the missing letter?
J. Oh freak. Oh freak. Oh freak. Oh freak. S. T.
The 17th
I'm going
day
with
of the
T.
year is in January. The 70th day of the year is in March. The 96th is in April.
Dang
The
it, so it'd be-
162nd in June, and the day 256 is in
Oh,
September.
October, bro.
Day 354 is in
December?
December. The missing letter is D.
No, okay,
A
this
young
one
girl
actually
got
is
her
insane.
First job as a maid in a rich lady's house. Once, when she was tidying up, she noticed a very expensive
1, 2, 3,
collection
4,
of
5,
books.
6, 7, 8.
She made a break to look through one of them, and then returned it to the shelf.
I'm gonna remember
The
this.
girl kept working until the very
Nine.
evening.
It was
no one else
nine.
was at home.
Are you serious?
After finishing her work, the maid returned to the shelf and discovered that the sixth book was missing. But she clearly remembered that the book had been there before. It was the one she had been looking through. When the lady returned, the girl confessed she'd lost the book. But the woman only laughed and said everything was fine. Nothing was
just
missing.
flip it upside
How
down.
come?
Flip the book upside down. Flip it over, and it's 6. You just put it back wrong.
The collection had 8 books. The 9th book was actually the 6th one.
I was on
The
that
girl
from the start.
accidentally put it upside down. Right before Christmas, the police got information that a famous thief named Alfonso had left Chile. He boarded the plane to Los Angeles. The only thing the detectives knew about the man was that he had a beard.
Okay.
At the airport,
Remember the beard.
police officers met a group of people. They had just arrived from different
Beard,
countries.
beard.
The detectives noticed 4 men with beards and interrogated them. The first one said
Right.
he'd come from London. The second told the police he arrived from Chile, but his name was Cristiano. The third man answered he'd come from Sweden, and the fourth one was also from London. The police didn't even need to check their plane tickets to spot the criminal. How did they know?
Because he's wearing sunglasses from London. London's normally a rainy place.
It's Christmas time, but the man who supposedly came from Sweden is dressed too lightly for that climate. He must have
Bro.
arrived from Chile.
That's not the
where
beard
it's
they
summer.
showed me. I went off the beard they showed me.
A
They
road
showed me a
accident
big
happened on a
beard,
foggy
orange
day.
beard. They did not
2
show me a
drivers
small
were taken to a
brown
hospital.
beard.
Each of them had a concussion. Interestingly, their cars didn't even have a scratch. What happened?
I was too busy talking. Dang it. They didn't touch each other. We go with that.
The drivers were going in opposite directions. It was foggy, so they stuck their heads out of the window. They didn't notice each other and hit their
Oh!
heads. Ow! Samantha was born on January 27th.
I know that
For the
hurt.
first 20 years of her life, she celebrated her birthday in the winter. But starting with her 21st birthday, she began celebrating it in the summer. Why?
Leap year birthday? I'm a guess.
She moved to the southern hemisphere, where it's
Oh,
summer
mother.
in January.
Gosh.
2 sisters, Ava and Nicole, are very honest girls. They always tell the truth, except for one day a year. On their birthdays, they always lie. Today
Okay.
is September 17th, and you ask them when their birthdays are.
But they
Ava
lied
says
on their
hers
birthday.
was yesterday, and Nicole says her birthday is tomorrow. The next day, you ask them again, and they say the exact same thing. Can you guess when their birthdays are?
Yesterday, tomorrow, yesterday, tomorrow. It would be today.
They can't have 2 birthdays. It means that one day one of them lied, and the next day it was the other's turn. Since Ava mentioned yesterday, her birthday must come first. So Ava's birthday is on September 17th, and Nicole's on September 18th. Bethany, Tommy, Eliza, and James spent
Her
the
born
whole day
7
at home
minutes,
alone.
man.
Their mother didn't let them enter her room. When she came back in the evening, she wanted to eat her chocolate bar, but it was gone. She went downstairs and asked the kids
Same
who had
kids
eaten her
again.
treat.
We've already seen this chocolate
Bethany
bar
said
stuff,
she'd
man.
been doing her
We got
algebra
this.
homework the whole day and hadn't eaten anything at all. Tommy replied he'd been playing football outside.
I see what they do there.
Eliza said she didn't even know where their
Where did
mom
Eliza
kept
come
chocolate.
from?
And James simply claimed it hadn't been him. Their mom knew immediately who had taken her chocolate. How did she figure it out?
Fudge. I don't know.
It was Eliza. The mother never mentioned what kind of treat was missing, but Eliza somehow knew it was chocolate. The father of identical
I didn't
quadruplets, Aurora, Belle, Chloe, and Dana, called the teacher and asked her to let Dana leave earlier. She had a
Okay.
doctor's appointment. The teacher couldn't tell the girls apart. To have some fun, the quadruplets refused to confess who was who, but gave their teacher a hint. Chloe is somewhere in the middle. Dana is to the left of Belle and to the right of Aurora. Aurora is right next to Dana. How can the teacher identify the girls?
Near the middle. Chloe's either on the far right or the middle right.
Chloe is somewhere in the middle, and since Dana has someone on both sides of her, she must be in the middle too. If Chloe was the second, Dana would be the third. Then Dana would be to the left of Belle, and Belle would be the fourth. Then Aurora must be the first. But it doesn't work, because Aurora and Dana have to be next to each other. If we switch Chloe and Dana, Dana will be right next to Aurora, but still to the left of Belle. So the right order is Aurora, Dana, Chloe, and Belle. Dana's the second girl.
I'm not sure if I got that right or not. These videos are really showing y'all how dumb I am. Yeah. We're definitely gonna do more of these because I'm gonna make up for it. I'm gonna outsmart every last one of y'all. But if you got any of those right, tell me how many you got right down below in the comments. Link to the original video is in the description. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn the bell on for notifications, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.